Mangwanani Malelepo Fukenjani Klekloasvanave Africa. Welcome to Africa Good Morning, the news and current affairs show bringing you everything you need to know happening on the African continent and beyond. You are joined by Ashwin Bedi on Thursday, the 13th of June. These are some of the top stories we'll be looking at. China accounts for nearly 30% of total FDI, that is for Namibia. Russian warships arrive in Cuba ahead of military exercises in the Caribbean. Do make sure you follow all our stories, all our shows, and this show in particular on DSTV 285, GoTV 25, 1up2.com, and Network Media Hub on YouTube. Stay with Africa Good Morning as we head into the top stories.
Neo Paints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neo Paints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neo Paints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
We start our top stories on the economic front. China remains the largest source of investment for Namibia, accounting for 29.6% of the total foreign direct investment, while the Asian country is also Namibia's second largest trading partner after South Africa. According to the Bank of Namibia, net FDI recorded an inflow of 49 billion Namibian dollars in 2023, more than double the 17.3 billion registered the previous year. The significant inflow was attributed mainly to equity injections for oil and gas exploration and appraisal activities. China is not a significant player in this sector. The increase in Namibia's net FDI inflow was, however, supported by the disposal of FDI equity by resident enterprises in the manufacturing sector, coupled with higher intercompany loans uptake. Staying with Namibia, following a presidential pardon and reprieve proclamation by Namibia's President Nangolo Mbumba, over 2,000 inmates will be set free. In a statement, Namibia Correctional Service Commissioner General Raphael Hamunyela announced that 313 inmates in correctional facilities will be pardoned, while the 1,108 correctional facilities will be released on reprieve. Now, according to the Office of the Judiciary, a pardon sees an inmate being forgiven for a crime, thereby removing any remaining penalties or punishments associated with that crime. Meanwhile, a reprieve is a temporary suspension of the execution of a sentence. It does not nullify the conviction or the sentence, but merely postpones its implementation. A total of 709 inmates on community supervision will be pardoned, while 98 will be sent home on reprieve. Now, Russian Navy ships arrived in the Cuban port of Havana yesterday ahead of planned military exercises in the Caribbean. The four-ship group included a frigate, a nuclear-powered submarine, and two support vessels, a fuel ship, and a rescue tug. With Florida just 160 kilometers away, the visit is widely seen as a show of force by Moscow as tensions rise with the United States over Russia's war in Ukraine. The mission comes less than 2 weeks after President Joe Biden authorized Kyiv to use U.S.-provided weapons to strike inside Russia. The Russian Defense Ministry says the group of four vessels conducted missile drills in the Atlantic Ocean en route to Cuba. Now, with just over 40 days to go, the president of the International Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, has commented on the French capital's readiness to host the 2024 Summer Olympics, saying it is set. Now, the Paris Games kick off on July 24 and will last until August the 11th. Now, Paris is not only on track to deliver the first ever Olympic Games aligned with our Olympic agenda reforms, but they are ready, they are set, said Bach in Lausanne, Switzerland, Switzerland at a meeting of the International Olympic Committee Executive Board. There have been concerns over the city's readiness, with authorities scaling down the opening ceremony over terrorism fears. There's also debate about the upcoming legislative elections potentially impacting on the Games. The French legislative elections will take place in 2 rounds on June 30 and July 7, 3 weeks before the July 26 opening ceremony in central Paris that will include a floating parade of athletes on the River Seine. Now, 10,500 athletes from 206 countries will compete in 329 events over 17 days. Certainly exciting. Counting down to that, just over 40 days until the Olympics. My goodness, I hadn't really registered that. Stay with Africa. Good morning. After the break, we're going to dig into some community news in Namibia, particularly health and the arts.
The Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, in collaboration with the Namibia Tourism Board and the Ondonga Traditional Authority, will be hosting the Itotha Carnival at the Kangonde Sotpan in the Oshikoto region from 27 June to 1st July 2024. Expect a fun-filled weekend including traditional dishes, cookout competitions, totem parades, traditional games, horse riding, skydiving and quad biking. Accommodation facilities will be available at cost. The Itotha Carnival, celebrating our ancient heritage.
All right, we start with the health sector in Namibia. Executive Director of the Ministry of Health and Social Services, Ben Nangombe, explains in short some of the challenges which are experienced in the procurement of pharmaceuticals for the public health sector. Leandro Moores reports.
Really, the issue of the procurement of pharmaceuticals for the public health sector has been a challenge. We have seen situations where, when efforts were made to put in place long-term contracts for the procurement of medicines, this has not achieved the required results because in many cases the processes were disrupted by court challenges, for example. One example is the contract that we initiated in 2018, which could not be finalized until 2024. That means during that time, the ministry had to engage in what is called emergency procurement or buyouts, and these are very costly procedures. So we need to find ways and means in which we can procure medicines that are sufficient for the country and in order to deal and address the stock outs that we have been experiencing over the years. So we have been directed to look at various options, including the procurement of pharmaceuticals directly from the manufacturers. We are engaging with different countries to see how this can be brought about.
Now, the National Theatre of Namibia hosted a theatre production. Now, I'm going to need some forgiveness for the pronunciation. Kaunikias, which was in Walvish Bay. The play was presented through the theatre's co-production program. The play is to shed light on the cultural heritage and contemporary challenges in the Kaunin Topna people of Namibia. Here is Desiree from the National Theatre of Namibia as Frida Moloto reports.
Good afternoon, my name is Desiree Mentor and I'm the Public Relations Officer for the National Theatre of Namibia. We're quite excited that we could open our production Owning Ice. It's a story that tells about the cultural richness of the Owning people, otherwise known as the topnar, that lived on the coastline. The production really just delves into the rich heritage and the cultures of the Aunin, otherwise known as the topnar community, from the Walfish Bay, Utusep River area. And we really just wanted to highlight with the theatre production the contemporary issues that is faced by this community. So this stems from a research that was done by the University of Namibia. The focus really was the Topnar community because the research was funded by One Ocean Hub, which is a funding body or program rather that focuses on ocean cultures. And because the Topnar are an indigenous community to the ocean, or rather the coastline around Walfish Bay, they've extended the research only to inhabitants, people, like how people that used to live around the coastal areas had their relationships were with the ocean before that. And the Topnar, of course, is one of such communities. So therefore the concentration was more on the Topnar as a minority and also of the first inhabitants of the Walfish Bay area. Therefore the research was focused mainly on them because the funding body focuses on ocean cultures. The theatre play was a journey through time of the Aunin people. A showcasing of their rich and historical cultural heritages and also their connection to the sea as a people of the sea. So that's what it mostly focuses on. Also the resilience of the Topnar and what the contemporary issues are. So it's really advocacy, art, and history that comes together in a melting pot. It's a great experience for
Afternoon, my name is Heinrich. About the show, it was amazing. The cast was absolutely wonderfully displayed the characters, and it was also a food for thought to see the impact that the colonials had on the Topnar community. So if you are out there, please go and see the production. Thank you.
Well, to anyone at the coast of Namibia, that certainly looks like a play worth watching. You're still with Africa Good Morning. Let's have a look at the weather predictions. It feels slightly warmer than last week.
Ministry of Environment, Forestry and Tourism, in collaboration with the Namibia Tourism Board and the Ondonga Traditional Authority, will be hosting the Itotha Carnival at the Kangonde Sotpan in the Oshikoto region from 27 June to 1st July 2024. Expect a fun-filled weekend including traditional dishes, cookout competitions, totem parades, traditional games, horse riding, skydiving and quad biking. Accommodation facilities will be available at cost. The Itotha Carnival, celebrating our ancient heritage.
All right, in economic news, we are in Namibia. Trustco Group Holdings Limited this week announced an agreement to convert 4.4 billion Namibian dollars of debt into equity, paving the way for a planned US $100 million capital raise in the US market. The agreement is expected to increase Trustco's net asset value by approximately 1.5 billion Namibian dollars. This recapitalization is a crucial step towards achieving growth ambitions as well as completing current round of fundraising in the U.S. markets, said Quinton Van Rooyen, Deputy CEO of Trustco Group. According to Van Rooyen, Trustco will be well positioned to attract further strategic investors and create long-term value for investors after freeing up its balance sheet. The conversion is also a significant statement of support from the founding family, demonstrating confidence in Trustco's growth plans and strategy. In terms of the conversion agreement, the debt owed to Next Capital and Dr. Quinton Van Rooyen will be exchanged for new ordinary Trustco shares at a price of $1.17 Namibian per share, a 350% premium over Trustco's 90-day volume-weighted average price. Let's have a look at the economic indicators just before Ari brings us the sport.
Introducing 061 Express, brought to you by Synergy in proud partnership with Windhoek Express. Here's your chance to make your voice heard to celebrate the businesses that make Windhoek exceptional. From your favorite coffee spot to the salon that always gets your style just right. It's time to shine a spotlight on the gems of our city. Over the next 8 weeks, it's your chance to vote for your favorites to recognize the best of the best. Nominations open on the 25th of April and close on the 5th of May. To nominate your favorite business, simply save this number, 085-785-6231, and WhatsApp hashtag 061Express or scan the QR code below and follow the on-screen instructions. By nominating your favorites, you're not only supporting local businesses, but you also stand a chance to win your share of 50,000 Namibian dollars in cash. The voting process will be the same as the nominations process, using the Synergy chatbot and the hashtag 061Express. Voting opens on June 5th and closes on June 23rd. Make sure to cast your votes for the best of the best. The winners will be announced on June 28th. 061Express, celebrating the heartbeat of Windhoek. Get ready to make your mark.
Good day everyone, time for international sports news, and starting off with T20 Cricket World Cup for men that's being played at the moment in the West Indies and United States of America. Good news for South Africa is that they flew to the Super 8 stage of the tournament, and that was because of the result between Sri Lanka and Nepal, where the game rained out with a no result. And it is not good news for Sri Lanka, and they probably now out of the tournament. It's all in the hands of Bangladesh playing against the Netherlands. That's the next game on Thursday. But that game actually also need to be rained out for Sri Lanka to have a chance to go through to the Super 8 stage of the tournament. On the 17th of June, Sri Lanka will play their last round-robin game, and that will be against the Netherlands. Also, Australia, that safely flew to the Super 8 stages. They comfortably beat Namibia by 9 wickets. So they flew to the Super stages, and it is the last game for Namibia on Saturday. That is when they play against England. So that will also be quite a tough game for them, that game on Saturday. Moving on to soccer news, and it is African World Cup qualifiers that's taking place, and a big result for Bafana Bafana, the South African team that played in Bloemfontein, and they beat Zimbabwe comfortably by 3-1. It was a packed stadium and a good atmosphere there, and that means that South Africa now have 7 points. That's after 4 games, and also on 7 points after 4 games is Rwanda, and Rwanda beat Lesotho by 1-0, and also on 7 points from 4 games is Benin. There's a big break now for many months till the next qualifying again next year. So only next year in 2025 in March that South Africa play again. That will be a home game against Lesotho, and that will be followed by a very important game when they travel to Benin. And to close off today's international sports news, it is cycling news from the Tour de Suisse. It was stage 3 that is completed. It was a very competitive stage, and it was a sprint race to the end. The winner in the end was Thibaut Nys of Germany. He won in 3 hours, 27 minutes and 31 seconds. And just behind him, a few millimeters behind him, Stephen Williams of Great Britain in the same time in the sprint. In third position was Alberto Bettiol, and an important third position for Alberto Bettiol. He did well in stage 3, good enough for him to be the overall leader in the general classifications now. He's leading the Tour after 3 stages in a combined time of 7 hours, 39 minutes and 20 seconds. 6 seconds behind him in the general classifications is Ethan Heyer, and then in third position is Wilco Kellerman. He's from the Netherlands, also 6 seconds behind Bettiol, the leader at the moment. The fourth stage will also be a stage that's expected to benefit the sprinters. It's 170 kilometers, and it's from Rushlin to Kotondo, and that is stage 4 of the Tour de Suisse that continues. That's international sports news for today. I hope you have a great sport day. We talk international sport again tomorrow. Goodbye.
eTicket, your online ticket solution for events and event marketing, bringing you ease of mind and making sure that your event gets out there. For more information, contact events@nmh.com.na.
Neopaints has established a 67-year Namibian legacy, creating personalized paint solutions that blend quality and innovation for the Namibian people. We pride ourselves in being a 100% Namibian-owned company, investing in our country and our people by employing and empowering true Namibians. With every brushstroke, Neopaints commits to our quality guarantee and always delivering a coat of excellence. At Neopaints, we always stay true to our country. We are as Namibian as you.
Thank you for staying with Africa Good Morning throughout the broadcast. Let's have a look at some of the highlights from today's show. Over 2,000 inmates set to be freed in Namibia. China accounts for nearly 30% of total foreign direct investment. And Trustco founder injects equity into business. Those have been our top stories on Africa Good Morning, DSTV 285, GoTV 25, oneup2.com, and Network Media Hub on YouTube is precisely where you can find us. From myself, Ashwin Berry, and the Africa Good Morning team, Swera Jaganaka.